In this demo, we'll create some 3D shapes like this table and multiple CAD parts. So let's try this one first. I think this is the easiest one. I'm just going to create a new part. I'm going to slide the axis in the middle of the screen and just kind of zoom up closer to that. To make life real simple, we will create a circle right here on that grid. So I'm going to use my snap to grid. So with this on, it can snap right to the 0, 0. I want to make sure my next circle is on the same center. So I don't have to reselect that. You can hit the enter button and it remembers the last feature and it remembers the last parameters. Now it's hard to get onto my part, so I'll turn the snap off. And I'm trying to get on the edge of the part because I want it to say center. That is how I hold concentricity with the next hole. I'll just slide it to wherever I want. Make sure that you have 3D modeling turned on. And under this down arrow, we're going to use northeast locometric. Okay, so when you click on this, it's going to show you a right-handed axis system where the X is pointing in this direction and the Y is pointing in this direction and Z is pointing up, much like on CATIA. Now, one of the cool things I like about the AutoCAD is the press pull feature. When you hit press pull, just put your cursor in between the two pieces of wireframe that we created, and it recognizes that as a profile. So when I click inside there, I can just drag this up, or you could key in a value and just click a location. It will create the solid. And then we have the shade mode, kind of like this one. There's multiple. You should go in and try each one of these shade environments. Let's try drawing number 2, where we have 2 simple rectangles. We'll do the same thing. Create a new part. I'll just kind of slide the axis. I'm not worried about my grids. I'm just trying to show you how to use the 3D feature. We'll use rectangle next. I'll just start here at 0, 0. Notice it's not giving me a 0, 0 because I got to turn the snap grid on. And I'll snap to this point. I'm just going to drag it out some random position. And instead of creating another rectangle, what I'll use is the offset feature. So if you don't know how to use it, it describes this just by leaving your cursor on that icon. If I select this icon, it will ask me through. And all you have to do is hit enter. And what it will do is it will take that whole rectangle and recognize it as one piece. When I move my cursor on the inside, it just creates an offset equally all the way around the original rectangle. Again, I will switch this to the northeast location. You can see my axis. Looks like the CATIA axis with a right-handed axis system here. And again, I used press pull. So we'll try press pull and go inside this profile. I'll just drag it up and then I'll pick a shade mode. Let's try a different one. All right. So let's try number 3, where we do corners. We'll create a new part and create a rectangle. Slide that axis up closer to me. I'll go into the rectangle feature and it will turn on the grid. I'll start here at the 0, 0. I'll just drag it out at a random location. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to apply fillets. So there's your fillet feature. We're going to use fillets. And all we have to do is select 2 lines and key in a radius. This is kind of weird, I think, the way this works. Activate fillet. I select a line first, and then I come down here and I hit the radius in this little window down here, and you can type in a radius. I'll just do a radius of 1 inch. I'll select this, and then I get a corner. And then I hit the enter button, and all I have to do is grab the ends. Enter button again and grab 2 lines, and it remembers the last radius I used. So this is how I do the corner command. And then we go right back to offset. When it says through, just hit the enter button. Select the line. Move your cursor wherever you want. Make sure you don't go too far because it will remove your fillet. So I get it right about there, and there's my inside profile. I just want to show you one more time one of the cool things I do like about that fillet command that I use in a different way than many other people may know to use. I have two lines that are overlapping, and you have this trim command to trim these lines. Okay, I'm going to hit undo. I'm going to show you another technique using fillets. If I use a radius of 0 and select these two lines, it'll trim both lines. So again, if you use a radius of 0, it's a nice way to trim off a corner. All right, let's go back to northeast location. And I like this press pull feature. I think it's a lot of fun. I'll just go inside that profile, select anywhere in there, and I can project it down if I want to. And we will shade this. Let's try this one here. All right. So we've done the first 3. Let's try another one here where we've got some chamfers, a little tricky, a slot, and a hole. Let's open up a new part. And then we'll just create another rectangle. I'll turn the grid back on. When you guys do this, you should set your grid to what you want it to be. I'll just make some random shape here. And I'm going to use the chamfer command. So under fillets is a chamfer option. And you have multiple options here. For a method, I want to use a distance of 1 inch and an angle of 45. It says to enter the trim method. I'm going to use angle. Now if I don't key in a value and I click here and I click here, I'm going to get those same results where nothing gets trimmed. Let me hit undo. So again, we want to use a chamfer command. I want to use a distance of 1 inch. So I clicked on line. It's asking me for the first line. Let's try 1 inch. And then specify the chamfer angle. I'm going to try 45 and see if that works. The first line I grab will be the one that goes from here 1 inch over, and then when I go to grab this line, it'll put on a chamfer. I'll hit enter to recall the last feature done. Select this top line and then select this vertical line. Okay, so it's similar to corner or fillet where I hit radius and we'll type in, I don't know, let's go 2 inches, and I'll select this line and this line over here. Notice I'm selecting on the portion line I want to keep, and it creates an arc and trims the lines automatically. Now I'm going to put a corner, and I want this corner to be the center point right here where it's concentricity to this arc here. So if I select circle, I can use the shift button, right click. So hold the shift button down with the shift button down, right click, and you can make sure that center is on, or you just activate center. I want that specifically. I'll come down here to the edge here, and it finds that center radius for me. So I click on that, and I'll bring this out, and I'll just change that to a 1 inch diameter. All right, so there is how I got a circle or a hole concentric to another corner, and that's a very common thing to do, wanting the holes and this outside curve to have concentricity. I'm going to build a slot. I cannot find a slot feature. I'm going to have to make my own. So I simply go to circle, let's do circle radius. I'll just go from here up. Then I got a line, hit enter. Make sure to line that up with the other one and come up to the same spot. And then I'm going to go to line. And I'm going to use the shift button, leaving the shift button down, right click, and hit tangent. when I go up to this curve, you see how it says deferred tangent? When I click on that, if I move it, you see how that line is moving and adjusting to stay tangent to that circle. So when I go over here, even if I click, if I'm going to turn this grid off. So even if I click way over here, it jumped to the center there. Oh, so I don't want to jump to the center. I'm going to shift right click and go to tangent. And then when I come over here, notice no matter where I put my cursor on the arc, it's holding that tangency. Okay, so even if I stick it way up here, it'll move it up and hold tangency. I'll hit enter to stop, shift enter, and go tangent, and select this arc. Ooh, shift enter, tangent. Must not have picked my line up. I gotta hit enter to do a line, then shift enter to go tangent. Grab this curve. Again, anywhere I move this, it adjusts the line to be tangent to that circle. And then I come over here, shift right click, tangent, and I'll select this arc over here. It just automatically shifts it towards tangent. I'll hit escape, and I will use my trim command to trim off the corners I don't want. So click on trim, and this one here is kind of nice because I don't have to hit enter. It just stays in the trim mode until I hit escape to get out of it. I'll hit escape to get out of it, and we'll pop into the northeast corner. So I'm in the 3D mode right now, and again, I'll try the press pull and come over here, grab this and slide it up and click a position, and we'll shade it. Okay, so we're just right now working with some simple shapes, making 3D geometry. I've been doing a lot of press pull. I want to conclude this with one more demo using extrude. So we'll go ahead and create a new part. And I will create another rectangle, and I'll turn my grid on. Then I'll come over here, and we'll come up here. And I'm going to create another rectangle. Let's go here, make it a little bit bigger. And then I'll just hit enter to do another one. I want to kind of make it the same size as the one above. Enter to do another one. And I'm going right off the corner. So I'm locating them in the same spots. And then enter to say I'm done. Or sorry. We're going to go to 3D mode. So again, I'm using the northeast location here and slide this out. I'm going to do something a little different. When I try and do press pull, if I try and grab this one, it only wants to do the one. So in this case, I'm going to hit escape and undo, and I'm going to create an extrude. And I'm going to grab this one, this one, this one, and this one. Let's try and hit extrude after. Oh, shoot, what did I do? I meant to hit escape here. You want to grab all four first. So I grab all four profiles. And then hit extrude. I'm going to go down with this one. And then I'm going to grab this edge right here, and we're going to extrude. And I'll go up this time, and we'll do a shade. All right. So quick way to make a table. I got one more to do here. Let's see, we've done this one. This one will be next. I demoed this one, I skipped that. I'm going to go back to press pull and show you how I did this one. And I'm going to do it in the 3D environment. So I'm going to select here and select this northeast location here. And then we will go to circle. And with the grid active, I'm going to come here. And I'll just come out. We'll make this simple for me to see. I'll come out to here. And then I'm going to hit enter. And then I want to get on the edge of that circle so I can find that center. If I have a hard time getting the edge of the circle, I'll turn the grid off, the snap to grid off, and then go to the edge. Now it's the center. So now I know I'm making a circle concentric to the other circle. Just click a location, I'll zoom down. And we'll do 2 more circles. So I'll hit enter to create another circle. And I'll just put it right about, I'll turn the grid back on. I'll put it right about here, let's say. And I'll slide out. It'll be a little smaller on this end. So I'll hit enter, turn the snap to grid off, go to the edge of that circle, snap it so they're concentric and come out like so. Now, do you remember how to create those tangent lines? I'm going to create tangent lines where I go to line, shift right click, hold down tangent, and then pick this curve. Again, when I come over here, see it wants to snap to the center over here. So shift right click, tangent to this edge, enter to start a new line, enter to end the line, enter to start a new line. So 2 enters, shift right click, tangent, and pick anywhere on this curve. Shift right click, tangent, and pick anywhere on this curve. Enter to tell it I'm done. I'm going to go to parametric, and why don't I see it? Let's try diameter. Click on this one, enter. I'll click a position. I'm going to change that to say 15. I will click this one up under diameter. We'll click this one. So one thing I don't like, they overlap each other and it makes it hard to see them. I'll change this to 25. Unfortunately, my tangent lines didn't seem to hold that. So there's ways we have to constrain this to hold those tangencies. I forgot which one's tangent, but I would have to go back and try and re-establish the tangency. So if I click on this curve line and this curve, it will reestablish tangency, but it didn't know to leave my circle in its location, so I hit undo. This here command is a fixed command. I'm going to select the circle so it's fixed. Now I'm going to try and go to tangent and tangent this line and this curve, and it shifted this one. But see, I got the same problem on the other end. I might as well see, enter, apply my tangent line to this, enter, select on this one, make sure it's anchored so it won't move. So I fix it and then enter tangency, select on this curve, and then select this. It still moved. Why didn't I didn't get it fixed? Fix this curve. Says it's fixed now. Go tangent, make this line tangent to this arc. Enter, tangent this line to this arc. Now I'm going to go back to diameter parameter and select this arc. Enter for location, and I'm going to change it. Shoot, it was already highlighted. I'm going to double click it to see if I get that back, and the numbers are really hard to see. I'm going to make this 40 and see what it does. All right, so in order to keep those geometrical sets tied in, I had to create those. All right, I can now go back to home, and I'm going to use press fit and let's grab this profile. So just get in between the circles, grab this and go up. Enter, do it again with this one. Press fit, Y. I got this one to work here. Okay, I feel like these lines, they didn't self-trim, because if it did, under press pull, I should be able to grab this. Okay, so I'll do it one more time without changing anything. And we'll do this in the 3D mode just for kicks here. And we'll do a circle, and we'll do the snap grid on, snap it to this grid, come on out here, nice and big, and then enter, get another one on this circle with the center, slide it in, come back out, and then enter to get another circle. We'll use the grid, and we'll just kind of line something up. Let's go right about here, and then come up to about here, zoom in on that, enter, and I want to do a center, and then come in a little bit tighter this one, and then we'll do another line, enter, shift right click, and use a tangent line somewhere on this circle, shift right click, tangent, select that one, enter to stop, enter to start a new one, shift right click, oh shoot, sorry, shift right click, I got it out, line, shift right click to go tangent to this curve over here, shift right click to go tangent to this curve up here, and then enter to tell it I'm done. And we'll go back to the press pull, put my cursor here on this one, enter, select press pull, grab this one, come up, enter, select press pull, grab this one, and come up, and then we can go ahead and shade this. All right. Now, with the press pull feature, you should be able to double click one of your press pulls, and it gives you values. You could actually change a value right here. So if I change this to 15, it takes that height and makes it a nice even number. If I double click this one, it has this, let's close this off. If I click on this one, I can change this to 20. I could close this off, double click this one. I could even go, it's still locked up to both. Why is it doing that? I hit escape to get out. I'll click on this one. By double clicking it, I can also go negative numbers. You see how it went down? So I could have something completely different. So there's a lot of cool features you can do with this. Honestly, I don't really like that. It looks weird. I don't know how I would make it. So I'm going to undo and put it right back where it was. All right. So don't worry about doing any parametrics right now. I just want to give you an idea of what we're going into next. That will be parametrics, parametric modeling, where we can create the shapes and change the sizes. All right, that concludes my short demo on how to create some simple 3D shapes in your AutoCAD.